The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the podcasters and any guests and do not reflect the views, thoughts, and opinions of any of the sponsorships or affiliates of thereof.
What up? We're here with the Lake Talk Podcast, and you are tuning into episode 126 with your boy, Zac Ivie, and it's Get It Right.
The Lake Talk. The Lake Talk.
You are now tuned in to the Lake Talk with your host, Daddy Funk.
The Lake Talk. The Lake Talk.
Hey, yo, what's up? My name is Fonzie, and welcome to the Lake Talk 801, where we shine light on local artists and entrepreneurs. It's been a minute since we've been posting stuff, but actually like full-on episodes with either local artists or entrepreneurs. But last episode was episode 125, and it was just us three. We had a good conversation on things that were going on in the neighborhood in Salt Lake City. And so, yeah, man, but now we're back with episode 126 with a special guest today. But before we introduce our guest, we're gonna talk a little bit, check in with Ruben and G Daddy Funk, see what's been going on.
Damn, that sounds weird.
What's been going on, fellas?
Nothing, man. A lot of stuff in Salt Lake right now.
Yeah.
A lot of things going downtown. Concerts, man. I was trying to get my stuff together, but I guess I didn't have enough time. But there's a lot of concerts going down and a lot of music out now.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys are local here, tap in with it, man, because there's a lot of good music out here. Definitely a lot of good music. So you have to go check that out. I need to get my shit together with the homework and all that.
Oh, yeah, because you have a list of things that you want to speak on.
I want to speak on, and concerts I want to shout out, new music. I do have some music right now. We'll get into that, but I do have some new music that's out from local artists.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what's going on right now.
Okay.
And then with us, I mean, just been working.
Yeah, dope, man.
Same old.
Yeah, man. And we've been working a lot, man, and that's why we've been kind of putting the podcast on a hold for a little bit.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Everything will align, and we're not rushing things, and everything happens for a reason, so they say. So,
Yep.
What about you, Rubes? What's up with you, man?
Man, I've just been chilling, working. Got a new job.
Hey.
Like a month and a half ago. It's a better paying job, so I'm happy about that. And I just been, waiting, patiently waiting for the return of the Fonz, man.
Hey.
He's been out of town. He's been working out of town,
you've been gone, bro.
I've just been waiting for him to come back. So I've been just holding all my ideas, biting my tongue. Try not to put too much out there because I'm trying to save it for the cast. So
Hey, I'm glad to be back. First and foremost, but
I'm gonna have to tie your ass to this fucking table right now.
I'm leaving again.
No, you're not.
I'm
Not anymore.
I'm leaving again on Monday, man. I have to go back to St. George, but then after that, I might head out to Idaho as well. So they have me going all over the place. Anyways, regardless, the show is gonna go on.
Yeah, you
I
are.
can guarantee. But yeah, man, that's cool. I'm glad that you got a new job and you're doing your thing, bro. That's awesome.
Yeah, of course, dog. You gotta move forward. No steps back. Just one direction.
Hey,
I took the rearview mirror off my car.
that's dope, man.
Really?
No, I didn't.
You didn't get pulled over.
I didn't. I heard that in a Jelly Roll song, so I was just.
All of
I
a
thought it was
sudden.
pretty cool.
Hey,
I thought it sounded pretty cool.
What's going on with the news report, man? Weather.
Just technical difficulties.
Okay.
No. Just that's just a little funny thing that we thought up, but definitely need to be more consistent with that. Just been busy.
That's
been busy, trying to get up here with the crew and stuff to record.
a lot of people have been telling me that shit's funny, bro. Like you know.
That's what you say, but I look on there. I haven't a couple comments.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess they're all DMing you, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone always DMs Fonzie. No one DMs me. That's messed up, man. DM me. I get lonely, guys.
Anyway,
I want to hear your feedback.
Yeah, well, they tell me it's funny. So, anyway, we're gonna bring some
I
more.
tell you, only tell me.
Oh, I don't know, but we're gonna be bringing some more of that funny content for you guys, man. But
Yeah.
other than that, let's introduce our guest, man.
Let's do it.
All right, so our guest today, man, he has 3 albums, at least from what I found. He has a bunch of singles, and
He's also an entrepreneur.
he's also an entrepreneur, of course.
He's also a boxer.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
And
Huh.
who
And,
do we have?
and not only that, he's a cowboy too.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a cowboy.
Hey.
That's true.
Fuck, what aren't you, dog?
We have our boy Zac Ivie in the house, man.
this one?
It's
What's
that
up,
one.
everybody? What's up? It's been a long time coming.
For real,
We're
man.
here, we're
For
here.
real, yes. Thank you for being here, man.
Man, thank
for
you
real.
guys for having me so much. Yeah, lots of things, man. And the one thing that I'm not right now is rested. I'm not well rested. If there's one thing that I'm not, is well rested.
rested.
We're there with you, bro.
But we got
tired.
plenty of time, right? We
Hey.
got plenty
Definitely.
of time.
Yeah, a little vacation never hurt nobody.
Yeah, no.
No, but we appreciate you taking some time out of your day to, chill with us.
Yeah, no, man. I've been wanting to come on the podcast for a very long time. I love what you guys are doing. This is one of the best podcasts in the state. So,
Yeah,
you
thank
know,
you,
see
bro.
that.
We appreciate
That's
that.
an honor to hear that, bro. Thank you so much,
Appreciate
man.
you guys, yeah.
And if I'm wrong, do you have one as well?
So I do have a podcast that's actually only on GetItRightRecords.com.
Okay.
Me and my boys started a podcast called the Blunts and Brews Podcast.
Okay.
And it's kind of just for the people who really support like Get It Right Records and everything that
Okay.
we've got going on. A lot of what we do is just as independent artists, whether it be our clothing drives, our food drives, our back to school drives. They're all in house, and that's kind of what I think makes Get It Right special, as well as just what makes the sustainers that much more important to listening to our podcast. So it's I always try to like drop a little something on the
On the gram or
yeah,
something?
well, just on the website
Okay.
for union members, for people who monthly sustain or annually sustain, just everything that we got going. So
Okay.
That's
yeah.
smart, bro.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah. So, are you originally from Utah?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Utah, and that's kind of what we were talking about earlier. Is I was born and raised here. I get that question a lot, and when people are just like, "Wait, you're from here?
Yeah.
You don't seem like you're from here or whatever,"
Yeah.
and I'm just like, "Oh." It's like it's because I'm not Mormon. They're like, "Oh yeah."
They don't see you with like 7 wives and shit. That's why, bro.
They're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Bro, you got a beard and stuff. You're not all clean cut at 18. What's going on?"
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
funny.
Yeah.
What area did you grow up in?
So I grew up a lot in the South Jordan area.
Okay.
I moved when I was fresh out of high school. We moved to Salt Lake, and we lived kind of like when the Gateway was a ghost town. I don't know if people remember this, but the Gateway used to be like a ghost town for a little bit.
Yeah.
Me and my boys kind of just moved up in the Salt Lake area, wanted to be closer to venues, wanted to be closer to everything, and been up here ever since. I live in South Salt Lake right now, and yeah,
You're
just
still there?
yeah, just
Oh,
still
that's
here.
cool.
Yep, still here.
So how did where did the entrepreneur start? Like, what inspired you, or even with the music, with everything?
Well, when Career Day came around and shit like that, when people really kind of had an idea of what fields they wanted to go into, I mean high school and earlier middle school, it was never that clear of a path for me. You know what I mean? There wasn't anything that kind of interested me. Like the things that interested me enough were like, like at the time I was really into rollerblading.
Okay.
I wanted to be a rollerblader. I was also boxing throughout middle school and high school, and that was also an option. That was also kind of an option to go down,
When you said rollerblading, like not skateboarding, rollerblading.
like inline skating and
What-
stuff. Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like grinding rails on rollerblades.
Okay.
So it was always like a little different, And I guess it's like where most people picked up skateboards, I picked up rollerblades.
Well, I picked up rollerblading, but the reason why is because of I was playing street hockey.
Yeah, street hockey is really sick, and I mean I never got into.
He was the puck.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
He's
joking.
like, I really like those rollerblades. But no, I just, it was one thing that one of my friends got into. My friend got into rollerblading and was like, yo, we should pick up some inline skates. We started watching skate videos. We watched Brink. I don't know if you guys are like 90s.
Sounds familiar.
It's like an old Disney rollerblading movie, man. And they're rollerbladers. And I don't know, it was like at the time we were always like kind of clowned on. And then our homies knew that we would be the better ones to hold the cameras for them when they did skateboard. So we went and hit handrails and did all that. And so, between that and boxing, there was always kind of a different path. People played football. I never played a year of Little League football.
Oh, you never did.
No sports at all.
I
No,
did.
I got bullied in elementary school, and going into my 7th grade year, I was like, I'm gonna join a boxing gym. And there was a boxing gym in West Jordan. The Foreman brothers, all 3 Foreman brothers were still kicking around, and it was one of those. It was a free gym, you know. It was a nonprofit. They as long as you kept showing up and stayed in school and stayed good, they would teach you how to box. But you had to keep coming back. Like I seen so many people just come in and leave and come in, and it's not kind of what they.
You had to be consistent.
Yeah,
and
you had
show
to be
them.
consistent with it. And so then, you know, moving into high school and stuff like that, we were on the road with the team. We were competing in Golden Glove tournaments. We were pretty much boxing all over like the region. And then after I got out of high school, I fought for probably like 2 or 3 more years, and like our coaches were all just old timers. As soon as they passed away, the gym kind of changed.
Wow.
And what happened in between then was I had joined Poetry Club my junior year. A really good friend of mine that I've known since 3rd grade was like head of the Poetry Club at our high school. And I was barely even going to high school. Like I didn't graduate. I had to go get my GED after. Like I dropped out, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I did join Poetry Club, and for my junior year and senior year, I was just writing verses. Like I didn't know they were verses at the time. I thought they were poems, but they were like my idea of what I thought poetry should be.
I see.
What got you into poetry?
Well, I was always like the friend. Really like I was always the friend who had like whatever rhymes memorized.
Oh, okay.
Whoever's verse it was, they were memorized immediately.
Like hip hop or just anything.
Yeah. So 3rd grade, William Palomo's his name. He does great work out here with Utah Humanities. He does great work with the Center for the Book and funding like literary arts. He's always been into it. His older brother's name is DJ Crooked Styles. Again, I grew up not Mormon. All my friends in elementary school and on up were all like the Catholic kids, the Hispanic kids, and even into the boxing gyms. I mean,
They were all-
it's not you don't see very many kids who look like me. It's like it's a huge
Melting pot or something?
yeah, just a huge melting pot, especially in Utah when it's like not a lot of people want to box. You know, like
Yeah.
the football teams, the baseball teams, they do well.
Yeah.
But it's just it was just one of those moments where I got to taste diversity a little bit more than just what my neighborhood looked like. And so, but anyway, so William Palomo was one of my best friends. His brother was a DJ, and he would bring mixtapes to school and sell them.
Oh, shit.
And so I got a mixtape from him, and like track 1 was like Lottie Dottie by Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh. And so I was like, what is this? And like basically had the whole CD memorized, and like the matter of like months, you know, just listened to it on repeat and just got to listen to that. So that's kind of what got me into hip hop music. And that was in 3rd grade. I'd always been into rap. And then my junior year, the same kid who sold me that CD was head of Poetry Club. And was like, hey, you should join Poetry Club with me. Because I was we were in the same science class together and a couple other classes together. And I'd always see him he'd be writing and kind of spitting. And I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing over there, man? He's like, oh, I got to finish this poem. There's a slam poem tonight. So I got my taste of like traveling with them and doing like different, I believe they're called Put Your Mouth Where the Word Is, like slam competitions, right?
So is it like battling?
Yeah,
in a
it's a
sense?
point system, and it's actually kind of wild because it was at Moe's Bar and Grill. I don't know if people remember Moe's Bar and Grill.
I remember. That's not a thing anymore, huh?
No, it's not a thing anymore. But they would basically hand out whiteboards to the crowd, randoms every time, and then they would judge your poems. And I'm on stage with national poets, like people who have millions and millions of views on one poem that they have, and like just who are like the best poets in the country.
Damn.
And my stuff always just sounded like rap. It always just sounded a little bit more like rap. And so William one time let me borrow his whole box set of Def Jam poetry. And it was hosted by Mos Def. And a lot of my favorite rappers got on there and did acapellas. And I was like, oh,
This is what it's supposed to sound like.
Okay, like they're doing an acapella, but like they're rappers. So kind of what I'm doing is kind of what they're doing without a beat. And I was like, well, let me try this with a beat real quick. Then hold
Oh,
on.
I see. Okay.
And it just started like growing from there. You know, we did our first show. So I was supposed to have graduated. Like I said, I dropped out. I openly admit that I dropped out because I just did not fit into what school was trying to do to me. Yeah. What my fellow classmates were all doing kind of wasn't what I was doing. And so I again just started working into that. Got my first show. I graduated in 2011. My class graduated in 2011, and then within like 4 years after that, just spent a lot of time writing, spent a lot of time freestyling at parties. 2015, I got my first show.
When you said they were rating you guys on the whiteboard, what was by 1 out of 10
yeah,
or
1 out of 10. So like they would rate you at a 1 out of 10 each poem, and it's like it's actually. It's kind of charming, like the way they do it, right? Because they're like, oh, like the points don't matter, but like they kind of do when you're getting graded by random ass.
Hell yeah, they do.
You know, you're like, you're over here not thinking so and so is gonna like your poem, or you're nervous, and they're rating it like a 5, and everyone's got like 8s and stuff. And I was like, oh man, I'm not very good at this or whatever. I started putting it to beats. I spent like a whole year with my homie, just like writing in his garage. He turned his garage into like a whole studio. It was dope. We had the pull-out couch with the Xbox with San Andreas. We had like old tour DVD videos that we could watch, and just got inspired, man. We had like a little Tascam. We were rapping over beats that weren't ours, you know, J Dilla beats, Pete Rock instrumentals, some of our favorite producers, and not putting them out, but just finding what our voice sounded like on the mic,
right?
Finding our flows, finding our cadence. So I think it was kind of like when we got our first show. People weren't really aware that I'd been writing for 6 years before that. Like I'd been writing poems and stuff, and like and then like 3 years later turning them into verses a little bit more with like intent, not necessarily knowing like when a 16 stops but just
8 or 12,
putting
whatever.
my rhymes together. And
but so no hooks or nothing yet.
Oh, no hooks, nothing yet, nothing at all. We tried at first we were trying to like kind of mimic what we heard. Through our favorites, like we knew that there was a chorus or whatever, but we wouldn't be able to tell you that a chorus is 8 measures compared to a verse being 16 measures or 4 measures or whatever, however short the hook is, right? But we wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. We were just trying to work on like patterns, like rhyme schemes and stuff, and learning when to flip the flow and learning when to add different things and how to stack our voices. And we again, we didn't even have a laptop. We had a Tascam recorder. We had to get like beats and shit on a fucking flash drive, not a flash drive, but like one of those SD cards.
Oh, okay.
Boom, plug the SD card in the side, and then we could play the beat. We could I think we could record like 6 tracks.
Okay.
So we could double our voices if we needed to or whatever. But if we were sharing a track, you've got the beat, then my 2, then his 2. Like there wasn't much more room to work, but like. We got the hang of things.
You guys would ping pong everything to like one track or not really with the Tascam?
It would all be on one track, like at the end.
Oh, at the end. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you guys did ping pong.
So we would all run it back on one track and just be able to hear kind of what it sounded like. And more importantly, I just think the reps, man. I think the reps on the mic of being like, oh, I'm too close, or oh, I'm too loud, or oh, I'm not confident in my voice. I'm not confident, because that's a big thing that like
the energy.
That's a big thing aside from having cool rhymes, is like you gotta be able to say it. Yeah. Some people can't even say it. They're kind of nervous, you know. They're nervous up there on stage. They don't even look people in the eyes sometimes, and I get it. So because I was there, I was that scared dude at a poetry competition, shaking while everyone else had their shit memorized, and I'm reading it off my piece of paper, and I'm terrible at reading. Remember, I didn't graduate, so I'm terrible at reading. I'm like,
and you're shaking.
Yeah, dog, I'm shaking and shit. But it worked out. During the course of like fall to spring, I, with like a couple other of my friends and great MCs, C. Valente is actually one of them too who goes. But we teach at Spy Hop, and Spy Hop is it's a multimedia building course for these students. It's a free after school program. So I teach in the rap course. Nice. And in the rap course, that's a big thing the thing that I see is like, initially they've got the rhymes down. They've got the ideas of rhymes down. It's pulling them out of their shell
Okay.
that you
That's the
help
hardest
It's
part.
pulling these students out of their shell. That's the hardest part. They can rhyme. They know what to do on the mic. The hell, most of them can mix. They can mix their songs and they know how to EQ and do everything. But it's like and of course they're teenagers, right? They're 14, 15, 16 years old. It's like, bro, if I was so confident back then it would be a different story, you know. But I might have graduated. We never know. Yo, but yeah, pulling them out of the shells. And I always like to make these kids, like, I always like to crack the joke that like confidence is like what got me teaching in schools before I ever even finished school. Because I ended up getting my GED before I turned 30 and was like, you know what, I'm just gonna knock this one out. It kept coming back in circles, like, man, I can't finish shit. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna finish
finish that. Hell yeah.
Finish school. My parents, they all threw me like a little graduation party.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's dope.
we all got drunk and shit. I was like,
Yeah, bro.
my little sister graduated that year too. I'm like, me too.
What year did you graduate? Because you said you were
I
supposed
graduated
to
last year.
Oh, last year. Okay.
Yeah, so like technically, well, yeah, last year right before my 30th birthday. So about like May of last year.
Okay.
I went and did online school, got my GED. I was supposed to graduate in 2011. So I'm 30 this year. I turned 31 this year. I'm 30 last year. So yeah, my back's hurting already and shit. I was like, yo, I thought they were lying to me and shit. No, they ain't
It happens,
lying.
man. It happens.
They ain't lying. So.
I hope I didn't sound like Kevin Hart when he goes, damn.
Damn. No, dude, it's all good, dude. It happens to me, man. It happens,
When he tells him how old are you, he goes, damn. He looks at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's funny.
go
Oh,
ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you feel like your music's more East Coast influenced?
It's influenced from everything.
Yeah.
I have my moments where, like right now specifically, where like I'm listening to a lot of Spanish music, man.
Oh, damn.
I'm listening to a lot of Brazilian music. I'm listening to a lot of like my favorite artists from, like Arthur Verocai is actually a really great composer who has this album that is just incredible, and it's great to listen to it because culturally I can't, or like verbally I can't understand a word this dude is saying, right? Like I don't know, but I feel. And that's why I'm trying to take my next, musical journey. I'm trying to take my next musical journey into more of like a how I feel, not like and not stress so much on like, man, there's got to be like this message in this song or whatever. Like the message comes with the feeling.
Yeah.
The message will come because I do that anyways. Yeah. So I gotta trust myself more that I can just do that naturally and then pay attention to some other parts of my music that I really felt like I wasn't missing in the last album, but the pandemic I wrote an album in the pandemic. All Together Now was the project. I got a really cool Master Ace feature on there. I got to tour with Master Ace for a little bit.
Okay.
Anyways, but it just was such a bitter ass album. And when I say bitter, there's a lot of great songs on there.
Yeah.
But mentally, I mean, you guys went through it too. We were all humans. We all went through that 2020, and it seems so far removed now. But there was a point in time where like I was writing and not like loving what I was writing. Those are the songs that I do love off of like what I was writing. But
okay, so when you say bitter, like what do you mean? Like it was just sad, or it was aggressive?
It's not a sad album. It's an aggressive album, and I fell victim to kind of what I think most people fell into, where it was like they didn't want to be around people. We were tired of seeing dumbass people every day. So like we lost a little bit of faith in the world. You know what I mean? We were just like, oh man, I don't know about humans now. I don't know.
Everybody,
humans don't. And it was an election year, and people were yelling, and just so much craziness was going on to where it was just like, yeah, like me as a person wasn't as. I'm generally pretty optimistic. Like I like to consider myself a half full type person. My cup's always got a little something in it, then it's better than nothing. And even when gas was $7 a gallon, I was out here like, well, at least I got a car that I don't gotta walk to places. You know? So and I think that's really important to get yourself out of those battles. Right. But I wouldn't lie, there were some days where I was like, man, I wish I was a little bit more full than what it is now. And so that energy kind of carries over the album.
Got you. Okay.
It's a little bit more aggressive in some parts. There's not necessarily like, dude, I like R&B and shit. I like love songs and stuff too. Like I like to kind of put a little bit more passion into some records and stuff, and this wasn't really it.
So let's go back a little bit. Now, when you started making music, like when you really I'm gonna start making songs.
Yeah.
This and that. How was the scene from your perspective out here in Utah? Like, was there artists that you were like looking at or kind of influenced by, if any? Was there any?
Yeah, I mean, so one of them right now is actually one of my really good friends, and I mean, the scene has done its fair share of roller coasters out here, right? But without mentioning and taking up like a whole bunch of time, but like when Task Rock and Pat Main and when Atheist, who goes by Rhyme Time now, was out doing his like original thing, Burnell Washburn, there's a lot of other artists that I could bring, and pardon me if I didn't say whoever, you know how it is.
Yeah.
Didn't say my fucking name, but there's a number of people that kind of carried over from that generation, and what I've always said is just like the real are still here. They're still making the music. I remember being in that garage where I'm writing bars and Googling like Utah rap and like seeing my boy Dumb Luck battling people and stuff and being like, this kid seems like he's gonna be rude as fuck. He's one of the nicest dudes to tour with, man. He's one of my favorite people, man.
That's dope.
Golf with him at least like twice this year, but that's my dog right there. It's
That's
like
dope.
at first I thought he was gonna be really mean, but he really did influence me to be like, oh shit, people are out here like going after it. And I mean, the game comes with its tractions and non-tractions.
Yeah.
I've had moments where like I'm like steaming and we're going and I got shows every other week, and then all of a sudden it's just like sometimes I don't have, and I have to pick up extra gigs here or whatever. And that's what's cool about, I guess, my schedule is I can do that. But yeah, man, when I first entered on this scene, I had just missed the part where it seemed like the scene was stronger. It went through a quiet period, and then it just seemed to like kind of pick back up again and do its thing again.
Yeah.
I don't know what the kind of like the pandemic did as far as that, because I reclused.
Yeah.
I kind of reclused. I kind of stepped away from everything. I wasn't outside as much as most people weren't, but like I really wasn't.
Yeah, I don't recall, because we were like doing like the DJ Juggy, what is it?
The Slap
Lake
Lake
City.
Yeah.
I don't recall like seeing your name on there or anything like that, or any.
There was a few, though.
I hosted a couple
Yeah.
Slap Lakes, and
Did
I
you?
did a couple Slap Lakes. Yeah,
Oh, my bad.
No, it's good, man. And I mean, there's just so many artists that fill up that can fill up that bill, right?
Yeah.
And
Well, what I'm getting to is because, like you said, you kind of step back for a little bit. So I think, okay,
same moment.
Yeah.
Same moment.
Yes, around 2020.
Around 2020 and 2020, I was in the, and I don't know if the game necessarily jaded me or what, but it was just like our whole world as performing artists was kind of swept out from under us.
Yep.
And I really have to say shout out to like the awesome venues like Soundwell and Urban Lounge and stuff. The people who did their best to make everybody feel comfortable and still put shows on.
Yeah.
Where I had friends out in California, I've got music friends all over the place, and like my friends in California were like, damn, you're still doing shows? And I was like, yeah, we're trying to like do them safe. They were outside. Like I'm like trying to explain myself. Oh yeah, but they're outside shows or whatever. But it's like, yeah, it's crazy to kind of look at where we are now. And I know, and again, it wasn't like a fear of pandemic. I think it was like, to be honest, the election year, bro. I think it was just everybody
was on edge
bitching
and
at
shit.
each other and shit. I was just like, yo. So like, I just didn't fuck with anybody. I was like, all right, man.
They had us all fighting against each other.
My circle was already pretty low key, and it just went to like, I just went to work. Like I just went to work and home, tried to write it, and that's why it took me 2 years to get out 8 tracks that I really, really liked for that All Together Now album.
So before 2020, you made an album.
Yeah,
It was Noti Tapes.
So Noti Tapes. So kind of what happened was Noti Tapes was a 2017 album.
Okay.
And that's produced by a young bump lord, Easy Noti, out of Utah County.
Okay.
And Easy Noti's sick, and I met him when he was like 15. Him and his older brother would come to. I put on events called Get It Right.
Okay.
Get It Right Barbecue was an event where people could come through, videographers, producers, MCs. They'd all come through to whatever spot. We throw a big old barbecue, and we would just network. And we would get, you know, you can ask like UA or a lot of these cats who were around at that time. Like they all came to the Get It Right. We all met people. So I met this young lo-fi producer, and I was like, "You're pretty sick." He put a edit together, a video edit. And I was like, "Who produced this?" And he was like, "Me." And I was like, "Man." So he threw me a bunch of lo-fi beats. And right now we're working on Noti Tapes 3. Noti Tapes 3 is about ready to come out. Because Noti Tapes 1 came out. We did a follow-up. Noti Tapes 2 came out in like 2019. And then I joined up with CSE for a 1-album deal. And Capital Syndicate Entertainment did Wish Kid with me. And I really, really liked his A&Ring on that record. I liked where he was going as far as like beat selections.
Okay.
He let me pick a couple that I couldn't let go. I had to. So you'll hear the difference in like the beats. You'll be like, "Oh, that's a beat that probably Zac picked." But we had our release party for Wish Kid March 1st, 2020.
Okay.
And then like 2 weeks later, the whole world shut down.
Yeah.
So that album just kind of got lost.
Like,
You know what I mean? Everyone was like, "You did a what?" Well, we don't care. There was an earthquake. Did you hear that earthquake happen?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's a weird time.
So
That's a weird time.
it was a weird time, and I seen that album kind of do that, and I was just like, "Fuck, man." And we weren't doing shows, and my boxing gym that I was teaching at was limiting hours and pretty much eventually closed down. They closed their doors and went bankrupt. And so, it kind of caught like and that's when I really started to pick up more independent work.
All right.
Before I was kind of like always working. I was in warehouses and shit. I've tried to sell cars before. I've fucking changed oils, changed tires. I've done it all. And I, as soon as the kickboxing doors closed down, that's when my boy was like, "Hey, we're buying this embroidery machine. You want to come work it?" And I was like, "Make some custom clothing?" I was like, "Well, I could always just make me clothing for my music and shit." And like, I know a lot of MCs and I know a lot of artists and shit and people who need clothes, people who need merchandise or want hats and shit. And so it's like, it just like,
it all came together.
it was divine intervention. You know what I
Hey,
mean? Like my life was kind of just like finally like, this is where you need to be. This is what you need to be doing. So we made, we just made a business, got an LLC, at first we were in a shed. We were in a fucking shed for a long time. Yeah, like we were in just like, we built a shed in his backyard. Had his brother help us like frame it out, and we were just in the shed, dude, fucking praying for a little bit.
Was it like really tight or?
It was hella tight.
Yeah,
it was hella tight to where, so when we had our solo head machine, so we have a single head and then we have another machine that fucking prints like 3 items at a time.
Oh shit!
And when we ordered that one, we were like, we gotta upgrade. We gotta get a building or something. So we got a building in South Salt Lake, man. It was like right up the street from my house. It was a whole ass building. It was disgusting on the inside. Shit. We got in there, we gutted it. We fucking, dude, we paid any homeless person that was walking by, like, "Hey, you got any change?" We were like, "Yeah, if you grab a shovel, we got hella change for you, bro." They would grab a shovel, fucking, they're helping us. We're like throwing them gear and giving them some bread. "Thanks, bro." Like, we just gutted this place, painted all of it, and we were about ready to open, and the city shut us down.
What? Shit.
They said it wasn't zoned for manufacturing clothes.
What the fuck?
It was zoned for retail and boutique stuff. It was, I have no idea.
What the
Politics?
The city of South Salt Lake needs to get their fucking shit together.
man.
Bro, because it stops like if you look at the map, it's like right up to our building, and then it just turns a different color, and it's like, it's supposed to be for retail. There's like auto shops and shit all around us, but we couldn't embroider there. So they put a red notice on our door, and they were like, "Hey, you can't even be in there."
What the fuck?
And we were just like, "All right, cool." So we got out of that lease. That was a lease to own. We were trying to work our way up to get the property. And we went back to a shed for a little bit. Wow. And then now we've got a storefront on State Street right next to Uprock. So,
Nice.
and shouts out to the family at Uprock. They've been helping us out with just sharing their space with us and allowing us to print clothes for them and
That's dope,
build
man.
up. Yeah, man. So you again, just like the traction thing. You gain a little traction, you lose a little traction.
Yeah.
You gain a little bit more traction, but as long as you're going right, what you were saying, as long as you're going forward, baby,
Right.
that's where we're going.
That's right.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's the way life is, man. Sometimes,
Yeah,
it
man.
knocks you back a couple steps, but you just
That
gotta
was-
stay focused and keep going.
That's the most important thing I learned in boxing, man.
Yeah.
My losses. I wasn't a superstar, or else I'd still be boxing. I'd probably be but I lost some fights and then won the next ones and was like, yeah.
Did you kick your bullies' asses and shit once you learned how to box?
Nah, man, I really only got once I started learning how to box. I really fought too much in the gym to ever want to like.
Fight in the streets?
Yeah, and anybody who did, there was one time, and I won't. Well, I already got in trouble for it, so it can't incriminate me. But I punched a dude, and I got sued for it pretty bad.
Damn.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, but they tried to pull some like insurance shit where they were like, we didn't get it covered or whatever, and it ended up biting them in the ass. So I ended up just getting away with like a lot of community service.
Okay.
But yeah, after that, I was just like, you know where to find me. My coaches at the gym, they knew. I'd be like, hey, bro, I'm getting some kids being an a-hole at school. Yo, can you come fight me in here? Well, yeah, let them come in.
Oh,
You'd
shit.
see them, they'd walk in, they'd walk around, they'd walk out. So it's like, I never had to, I was like, all right.
Cool. Damn, that's crazy.
That's a smart way to do it,
Yeah,
bro.
for sure.
Bring them to the gym and beat their ass in there.
That's
Yeah,
what you should have
yeah.
did, Fonzie.
I know, huh? Shit.
Fuck.
It happens,
Yeah.
man. I mean, I don't know. I've never had too many people who really like, and I'm fortunate, dude, because I mean, you never know. I had the coaches that I did. I had the sparring partners that I did.
Yeah.
I had some of the toughest sparring partners in the state. People used to hate coming to our gym because there was no like, we gonna go light. It's like always light for like the first two punches, and then
Bam, bam.
we were either getting yelled at by a coach or we were mad because somebody got the better of us and we wanted it back. So, but yeah, man, I was very fortunate to just have the coaches that I did, to have the experience that I did with the Fulmer brothers. I mean, they do a lot for the community.
Yeah.
There's still a free gym to this day.
Damn.
They're
dope.
they're still allowing kids and adults and people of all ages to go visit their. I think it's like you have to register for USA Boxing. It's like $60 to $80 a year,
Oh, damn.
and then you can go to Fulmer's. And if you want to keep going and keep going and keep going, they'll show you a thing.
That's
You know,
dope.
so
That's dope.
yeah,
You're talking about Dumb Luck.
the man.
The man, yeah.
He's the man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
Dummy's
crazy,
my
bro.
boy.
He
Yeah.
gets down, man.
Yeah, Dummy's my boy, man.
Did you ever get into battle rap?
I didn't get into battle rap. I always kind of admired from afar. I always got to kind of, the closest thing I ever did get to battling is like maybe rhyming with people at parties before I even had a show. Like people would just start talking shit in the cypher, and so you'd have to say a little something or whatever. But I never got to. I never got to really experience like battle rap
Would
from
you?
the stage. Would I?
Yeah.
I
Because Ruben wants to battle rap.
know, man.
You know what? Nowadays they give them time to like.
They give me
fight.
time to prep. I
Yeah,
don't know.
they give you like, you know who you're gonna battle, and you got time to like write your shit down. You know,
They give you their
But
social
they
security
always
number.
did that, I think, right?
No.
not that I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know, man.
You would
they'll
do
tell
your
me,
homework.
hey, yeah, you would have to
Yeah,
do your
yeah,
homework.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
it was like freestyling or some shit back in the day where it was like you just battled somebody and tried to clown on their appearance or whatever, or what they
Yeah.
look like. It's just like I don't know, man. Like I really love my fellow MCs out there. I see Glocko getting on there battling. I see a lot of the people out there from Pura Vida out
Yeah.
there. And it's like, man, I couldn't talk shit on those guys. I love those guys. No, but like, and shouts out to Mike Masters and everything that they are doing. They're doing great things with the battle scene.
Yes.
Dummy was a judge for one of the events, and that was the Emerson Kennedy disaster. All those guys,
yeah.
Thesaurus. It was a huge battle. So, it's cool to see them and Hoodie Jer step in and team up with those guys as well. It's sick. So,
Most def.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting lane, man. The battle raps.
Masters,
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
it's cool to see that it's starting to like buzz back up because man, there's some of my favorite. Like, I mean, Dumb Luck, he's also one who people ask him, are you gonna come back? But man, that's like, that was that dude apparently, And I came in like I said, I got my first show like right after all that shit happened. Like 2010, 11, 12, when everyone was kind of doing that, and like I was still kind of finding my voice. Came in and I was like, yo, where's everybody the fuck at?
They were gone.
They were there. They were just doing their shit on their side too.
For
It wasn't
sure.
the same. So yeah.
For sure.
What is?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say even like Atheist, man. We were watching some of his
So
old stuff.
sick,
It's like,
bro. So
this is
fucking
crazy.
funny.
Well, when he battled, what's his name? We had him here. Not Van New Moon. What's his name? His brother,
Bobby.
Bobby B. Mack.
Bobby B.
Oh,
Mack.
yeah.
Yeah,
He
dude.
battled
He
him.
battled B.
Yeah.
Wait, no, and then Dumb Luck battled Bobby B's dad, B
His
side.
dad too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
Well,
it's
and
just,
Atheist did too.
yeah, Atheist battled B side as well.
Yeah.
that goes back, man. It goes deep.
Yeah, when I
And
first
shouts out to B side, man. His son.
Bobby B.
Well, man, Bobby B and their whole group. What is it? The Moon
Gang.
Yeah, Moon Gang.
Oh, they're crazy.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
They're
You
wild.
know, so
down.
you know, the scene's doing well out here. Even if it's like, you know, everyone always kind of wants to know who's in the mix or who's in the what, and like it seems like there's like this inner thing, but like outside of that, there's so much cool shit happening.
Yeah.
There's
Like,
a lot of talent here.
yeah,
in
there's a
Salt Lake
lot
for
of
sure.
there's a lot of sick MCs.
Does that frustrate you, or you know, do you ever even like think about that we're not there hasn't been an artist that's been like nationwide, I guess, or even worldwide from Salt Lake City, Utah? Like, do you think it's bound to happen?
I think that it doesn't bug me, man. It really doesn't, because I'm not like that's me worrying about somebody else's bag. You know what I mean? That's me worrying about what somebody else is getting or whatever. Like, I should really be worried about how I'm doing, how my family's doing, how my shit's going or whatever. And like, if I got buzz or if I got traction, I should be paying attention to that, not necessarily like, oh, well, why don't we have anybody out here that's this, or who would it be? Like, if anything, it should be you then, you know, like if you're so worried about it. And so it's like, it'll happen in its own right. I know there's this will go without saying, but like, there's MCs out here with like Kendrick Lamar and DMX features that people don't even know about. Yeah.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, bro.
Oh shit!
And like, I know some A&Rs who worked this record, and kind of how they work the record is they buy verses, right?
Right.
They'll buy a verse,
Right.
and then they'll sell it to a bunch of people. They own the rights to that verse outright. They'll call up so and so and be like, hey, I'm gonna buy this verse from you for $15,000, but I own all of it. I can sell it as many times as I want to. I can blah blah blah, and it's just the music game's it's a weird game, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's a weird game, and it happens to people. And so like, yeah, there's a dude out here who goes by the name of Forever MC, and go look at one of his last projects, and you'll be like, all these fucking people are on his record. You guys didn't even know.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody even fucking knows. You know?
Nuh-uh.
So it's like it's so much more than getting the bigger feature. It's so much more than getting it's living the bigger life. You know what I mean? It's being involved in your community just as much as you're involved in engaging with your fan base, just as much as you're engaging with your other counterparts who are doing just as big of things with you. You know, like, it just really comes down to that. And
So for, you know, from your point of view, from your opinion, like what do you consider making it? What do you consider, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, like, okay.
man, living it, you know, like whether you want to be the 60-year-old b-boy who shows up to the bar and break dances and whatever, it's like, as long as you're living hip hop, then you made it, you know. That's the most important thing for me. I think realistically, everyone wants to be A-listers, and people don't know how to live in. Again, what is your cup, half empty or full? Because you're not, you know, Drake or whoever. Look at all the sad million billionaires out there.
Oh, there's a lot.
Bunch.
And rest in peace to all the ones who ain't around anymore. And they had that big old bag.
Yeah.
And they had the notoriety, and they had the everything. And it gets tense. It creates a whole atmosphere of new problems that I'm sure right now that we're just like, oh damn, those are problems. Like, yeah.
So the grass ain't always greener, huh?
I think making it is it's like, it's what you want to do, man. It's like, if you're out here doing what you love, if you're out here making music, and if people seem to be responsive of that music, and if you're, you know, true to your craft and you're liking what you're making, then you're making it. Like,
What type of music were you listening to growing up? What type of music were your parents listening to?
man, it was all. So my mom was like the '80s R&B queen. She liked the '80s R&B. So a lot of MJ, a lot of Prince, a lot of '80s rock too. There was a little bit of not like the hardcore '80s rock, like big hair bands, but like Roxette and shit like that. Like, my mom was the one who I got my music taste from, which is crazy because my very first concert was the artist formerly known as Prince.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
My very first concert was Prince, and I was just like, and I had like, I just knew that this was somebody who my mom listened to, not necessarily at the time, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know the
Like,
magnitude
yep.
of Prince's career and
Yep.
influence in musical history, and so
Yeah.
it was cool to kind of get that. But dude, I wandered, man. I listened to punk music, ska music. I listened to freaking, I want to say almost everything but country, but I even had like a little bit of like twangy 50s country from like my dad's side, like,
Yeah.
you know, or my, yeah. So it's like there was a lot. Again, third grade when I found hip hop, it always kind of hung out as like a core
Yeah,
genre that I would
definitely.
listen to. But like, again, rebelling in middle school and shit, I'm gonna listen to punk music. I was I wore the freaking black tight pants with safety pins in them and stuff. That was me. Yeah, I wasn't scared.
I'm sure that helped though with the music.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
All
it,
that.
it helped. Just there's so much more to write about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so much more to write about, and hearing some songs from some other people. I think it gave me that edginess. I think punk gave me the edginess of like not just being no pop singer or some shit like that. I think that's why I'm not a pop artist for sure. Couldn't
Hell
do it.
yeah.
man.
So you said you started listening to Slick Rick. He was probably one of your first, right?
He was like song number 1 on this CD, and it was like that, and then it came into like Busta Rhymes. I want to say it was like Woo-Ha. What do you say? I want to say it was. I don't know. It just flipped, and it was this mix. Probably I had like the Sony Walkman that could play like 20-track CDs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The ones that weren't supposed to skip but skipped anyways. I actually, funny story. So I had this Sony Walkman all through elementary school. And iPods came out. I still had my I had a big family, like I was saying. I have adopted sisters and siblings and stuff. So I wasn't able to get the iPod when everyone got the iPod. Yeah, I don't know if y'all remember the trick, but you would run the headphone up your sleeve and
Yeah.
you'd be chilling.
Oh yeah.
And I was chilling in reading class, and Miss Jensen, man, she fucking was like, shh, bring it here now. She was ruthless. She was a cool teacher, but she was a little mean, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn. So I gotta pull this giant CD Walkman out. Motherfuckers are like, man, you still got the CD Walkman? I was like, no. So I had to go get it back after class. I was all embarrassed and shit. Everyone's got their new iPods and shit.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, bro. I might as well have had a cassette player in my hand, because they were like, yo,
For
what is
real?
that?
Damn, that's
Like, yo,
hilarious.
shut up, everybody.
I remember having the one where supposedly you could run with.
Yeah, dude, they had the handle on it on the
Yeah.
side and shit.
Skip every time.
We
Those
were
were
in
the
the
shit back
Stone
then.
Age, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Shit.
Those are the shit back then, though. You
Yeah,
hell
Dude,
yeah,
The
they were.
non-skip ones, they were so sick, bro.
Yeah.
They were so sick.
Well, at first it was like a square little thing, and then it became like a circular kind of
Like right in
disc
your
player.
hand, fit in
Yeah.
your hand, dog. Boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom.
and those were the shit, bro.
I don't remember tape. Did tapes ever skip like CDs?
Nah,
Yeah,
hell
see,
no,
fucking
never.
CDs, man.
What would happen is they would get caught up with
Yeah, they would get all tangled and shit.
Yeah, bro,
after
that
that.
shit was
That's
horrible.
what happened to that
Yeah, pencil in
Tupac
your fucking-
cassette that I had.
Oh, for real?
I think you gave it. Well, you gave it to me, and I had it in the Honda. I was bumping it, and then all of a sudden, I'm like,
No, dude, it's over.
Check
Come
it out,
on, it's
dude.
still in there. You know what
Yeah, I
I'm saying?
was
It's
so-
still
I was
wrapped
like,
around.
fuck.
That would suck, man.
Yeah.
But okay, so then that was all East Coast kind of rappers in a sense on that disc, or
Yeah,
was there any West
there,
Coast?
There was that. There was a lot of like West Coast. There was a lot of like reggaeton. There was a lot of shit, man. Because I mean, William's from El Salvador.
Okay.
So his brother's like influenced from down there. Their newest album that they have, they got the Boom Bow is their group. They just put out their first album. He's one of my favorite poets. He put out a sick project. Like it's so dancey and so just you know, he's a little freedom fighter like the rest of us. So, you know, he's a little bit rebellious in it, you know, but it's got some dance vibes in there because of Carlos, his older brother. Crooked Styles is just into dance music and shit.
And they just recently dropped.
Yeah,
music,
they
you
just
said?
recently did it. We actually went to a baile that they had out for the like the Great Salt Lake. It was like a cool ass little dance party that
shit.
they had, bro. And I was out there. I was like, okay. He performed a little bit, had him. I was like, oh, my feet was moving, and I didn't even notice. I was like, okay, all right.
Like, what
That's
is this doing
funny.
to me? Oh, what was it called?
Uh,
The album they just dropped,
what is it called? It's got a wild name to it. So their group's called the Boom Bow.
the Boom Bow.
Yeah, let me look this up real quick because if I slaughter Williams, he's gonna be mad at me, and this is one of my longtime friends. All right, Boom Bow. Let me see real quick because William, and again, he's such a great writer and such a great poet that it's like even if you went and listened to his music and weren't necessarily feeling it, enter the Boom Bow. Yeah, enter the Boom Bow, and it is on all platforms. But like if it's not music or hip hop's not your thing, then go listen to his poetry.
Okay.
Go dive into his poems. Go dive into his spoken word. He's always performing, always doing something with his work with what he does with Utah Humanities and stuff. And he's got kind of a sick job because again he gets paid to fund literary arts. So it's like sometimes he's put on shows for us and shit, threw us on shows. Paid us for it. Got the government to pay us for all that. He's like, I'm getting government grants to pay y'all to do this. Okay, cool. Because and it's like
dope.
it's like
That's dope.
he does it in a way though too that's like in what people would think Utah is. He's working against the grain. You know what I'm saying? He's
Yeah.
really working for the people, the people who might not have as many privileges as somebody who looks like me might have. And so like he I love the work that William's doing.
Nice.
And his poems reflect that. His lifestyle reflects that. His album reflects that. So.
Yeah, shout out to the homie William. Huh?
Yeah,
Willie
definitely.
P. That's actually if you go listen to my last project, not my last single that I put out, but my last project that I put out.
Okay.
All together now. There's a track on there called Willie P. And verse 1 kind of explains the story of meeting William in 3rd grade and kind of like our life. And then verse 2 is like us in high school and kind of joining poetry club. And then verse 3 is more current times like touring and going meeting all my favorite artists now and stuff. All because William was like, "Hey, yo, you want to buy this CD?" I was like, "Yeah." You want to hang out? You want to be friends and stuff? He's like, "Yep."
So let's not a game, but let's ask you these questions. Put you on the spot, man.
I'm down.
And you have to answer these. There has to be an answer to these questions. Who's your favorite West Coast? You have to pick one.
Okay.
East Coast and down south rappers.
Okay. Easy peasy. On the East Coast, Yasin Bey, Mos Def is probably
Def.
one of my favorites.
Most def.
People argue because solo albums or whatever, but I would put him in the top 5 category. My favorite down south rapper, it's weird. I love me some Texas rap.
Okay.
I love me some Texas rap.
Okay.
But I have to give it to Andre 3000. He's probably
Hey.
influenced me the most down south.
Okay.
My favorite West Coast artist. That's another hard one because it's like
There's a bunch.
there's
Yeah,
so
there's
many
a ton.
good. You know what I'm saying? These questions, but as especially as of recently, it's just like I'm super influenced by Kendrick's style. I really like Kendrick. I really think his first 2 projects. Not Section 80 and shit like that, but like
Mad Kid, Good Kid, Mad City. Yeah.
Pimp a Butterfly and stuff
Okay.
are just like those will be remembered forever. Those will be
Definitely.
infamous. So.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
I like your picks. That's dope. I was listening to your album today. You know what I'm saying? This last one all together now.
Yeah.
Dope album. I could actually kind of see the influence, I guess. I like the album, bro. Especially what song was it? I think Seventh Wave,
Yeah, Seventh
Wave, and
Wave,
then
yeah.
Take Time.
Yeah, Take Time's the one with Master Ace. Shouts out to Ace on that track. too.
Hey, bro, it's a good album, bro. It's
Thank
a
you, man.
great album, I
Thank
think,
you.
bro. No lie.
And Seth Stilo too for producing it because that's all produced out of Ogden.
Oh,
It's all
okay.
produced out of an Ogden producer. I think the thing with influencing and with our influences and stuff, and I've heard this said by many of my favorite MCs, and so I'm kind of repeating it. But it's like we as artists are standing on the shoulders of like the giants, right?
Right.
Especially right now because they already lifted the whole genre up.
Yeah.
And even just more recently to like, let's say like the 50 Cent or like the late Lil Wayne era, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it was like that made our genre fucking huge.
Yes.
And so it's like, I'm only kind of carrying the torch. I'm not like, I wouldn't consider myself an innovator in my style or anything. I'm doing my thing. Like,
Yeah, but at the same time, it is your style, though, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like you're bringing you're putting your influence, you're mixing it a little bit. I say,
yeah. I bring my own flavor.
Exactly.
I think I bring a little bit of like whatever flavor my, path chose for me, right? Like that, where I'm from, where I was born on the map, and the time I was born in,
Right.
and all those things kind of will make me a different artist compared to what I'm hearing. But yeah, man, I mean, it's a hard thing of trying to show that you're influenced by somebody and also not like just bite a fucking style.
Yeah,
you know
nah.
what I mean?
And it doesn't sound like that.
And
at all.
in no shape, in no way am I saying that.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
so I hope you understand that. But I do see like because you said it right now. You're like, yeah, I was influenced. He's the influence of mine, and I can kind of see it. But once again, it's like you're telling your story, your experiences. So that's dope.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think there have been a couple times where like a motherfucker been like, yo, dude, he sounds like Logic, and I'm just like, you haven't listened to one of my songs? No, I don't.
Let me ask you this, man. Do you remember what your favorite thing that you've ever written?
Oh,
What
man.
written?
Yeah,
Did I
written.
say wrote? Did I really just say wrote?
You did say written. It's written.
Written is, and if you can share that with us, or recite it, or rap it, or whatever.
That's like picking your favorite kid. You know what I mean? It's like picking your favorite child. But I think some of my favorite tracks that I've like really jotted down are like the ones that you'll tell they're more serious. They're not like me rapping and talking shit or whatever. But like, you know, I like to put my heart in things, and I think I use writing as a tool. I use writing as a tool to express myself, to heal myself. I've taken some of like there's a track that I have called Work. And the first line I think I say slip when the rain came. Life could be a gift and a bitch in the same day. Got pissed and I gave thanks. But it's like so that first line was based off of a time when my boy, we were living together at the Gateway, that apartment that we lived into, and I was out camping, and we were broke, bro. We kicked a roommate out because the block gets scary down there and people like to do drugs. Okay, so we had to kick a roommate out. He was getting a little too wild out there, and we were broke. I'm talking like ramen noodles, or deciding if we were gonna like drink a 40 for dinner. Like we had already had an eviction notice. I had to like max out a credit card just to fucking pay the next month's rent and get us like something to eat or whatever. So, anyways, he had accidentally started like a kitchen cooking fire. And he had put it out, and when he put it out, the sprinklers in our apartment fucking rained all over. 6,000 gallons a minute. It flooded our apartment we were on the 7th floor. We used to call it Studio 7. We were on the 7th floor. It flooded to the 4th floor.
Damn.
So we got kicked out of our apartment. So it was a bitch, but looks like we don't have to pay rent next month because we fucking, you know what I mean? So like it kind of like forced our hand or whatever to get out of there. And so like I'm really I really love the fact that with any type of music we can take some of our most worst days, man, and give them like a good bar. And now all of a sudden somebody's going to come up to you and be like, yo, I love that song.
Right.
And you can tell them that was about a terrible time.
Damn.
But now they love it. So it's like it took all that negative energy and moved it forward into something that maybe people enjoy or people can dig. And so it's like that's one thing that I like to tell people is like, yo, this song, like before I perform it sometimes, I'm like, yo, this song is about like one of the worst days of my life. We're like, bro, it wasn't like it rained over everything. We didn't have renter's insurance because fucking we're broke. You know what I mean? We're making first time decisions. I threw my whole life away. I think the only thing he grabbed was my laptop, which I still use today.
Damn.
And the mic.
Oh shit.
He got out with the laptop and the mic, and that was it. And fucking everything else. But dude, we threw away TVs, Xboxes, clothes, dressers, my bed, blankets, you name it, because it flooded everything with like old ass water. And then when they got up there with the fire extinguishers, even though nothing was on fire, they hit it with the fire extinguishers. It smells like vinegar and fucking it's all orange and dyed everything orange and just like ruined our shit. There was nothing we could do, you know. So
that water stinks, bro.
Oh, bro.
It sits in there in those pipes for years. And then it's just
they
black.
couldn't remember the last time those sprinklers went off. And when it was so funny, bro, my boy, because I was camping, right? So I get a phone call that's like, hey, bro, I flooded our shit. And I'm like, what? So like it sets these alarms off, right? and the whole apartment building like exits. So everyone's outside in the front. It's like 6 a.m. Like everyone's kind of wondering what the fuck's going on. And my boy come walking out. They're all looking at him like, this motherfucker, he's all soaked, yo. He woke everybody up, dude. Set this whole alarm off, like flooded down. I was just like, man.
But everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason, man. Like I said, we were in a shitty situation, bro. We were hungry. We were not on our A game, and that's around the same time when I met my wife. I don't know how she stuck with me, but man, she was like, "You guys are only drinking 40s for breakfast? Come here, baby. Come over here and get a good meal." I was like, yes. Yeah, 40s for breakfast. It's crazy.
For real, 40s for breakfast,
dude. I mean, 40s to whatever fill up our stomach because we were not eating. Like we were. Our rent was like he was working at like Costa Vida. I was a young kid working at like a dealership parts department, like driving the American Fork every day to fucking try to make some bread or whatever. It was eating it, dude. It was like $1,900 a month, and that was in like 2015, 14.
Yeah.
You know, it was like today's prices, but back then it was crazy. Yeah, so it was like, and again, the Gateway was a ghost town. It wasn't like this cool rad ass place to live in. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What is this place so expensive for? But it is.
So, how often are you putting out music?
So, you know, it comes in waves. Right now, I'm actually working on the summer of singles. Every like 2 weeks or so, I'm just making new tracks and releasing them, making new beats. And I got, over the pandemic, I picked up producing.
Nice.
So the You Know Me track is produced by me. This next one that's coming out is produced by me. And then the next one that's going to come out after that is produced by me. Then I've got a bunch of other shit that's produced by so many. Dude, one of my first, in that garage where we was all rapping and shit, and me and my boy was on the task cams using other people's beats. I said, man, one day motherfuckers are going to send me beats, man. And now you're going to hear all those beats because I've been getting beats and I had tracks built up and shit. And it's just like, oh, yeah, now I got, you know, now I got what I asked for. Yeah. There we go. So, you know, I'm a firm believer also in, like, if you ask the universe for some things, man, you'll get it.
Yeah.
Maybe not today or whatever, but you'll start to see it. So,
well, what inspired, the reason I asked about how often you put in music and stuff is because, you know, your latest single is You Know Me, like you said.
Yep.
That dropped on June 10th.
Yep.
The picture, you took it back to the cowboy days, man, without the cowboy hat. What was that all about, man?
Yeah. So just me, man. I think You Know Me really just kind of, the hook I wrote the hook walking into a grocery store, man. I just had a hook hit me. I'm a big Slum Village fan, so it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of got the rock to it. I'm a big Dilla fan. It's kind of got like a shake to it that I heard in my head, and I heard the words in my head. And when I got home, made the beat, laid the hook down, and the hook was just, you know me, you know who I be, yeah, you know me, pull up on the street, yeah, you know me, when I'm out up on the scene. So it's just, yeah, dude, you know me, like I'm probably out doing my goddamn thing right now. The horse thing is just like, I've been really trying to take advantage of just making content's hard. Being an influencer. I don't even consider myself a fucking influencer. I just consider myself a person just like the rest of us, you know. So, but when it comes to making content, it's like we always, as artists, stress ourselves out over fucking, is it gonna look cool? Is it gonna look like this? And I'm like, most of the time, like every other fucking day, I'm out on the farm.
Yeah.
Every other fucking day after that, I'm either teaching at Spy Hop or I'm at a show rocking. And so it's just like, I might as well just take advantage of me being me. Yeah. So if my cover or my background's got to have a horse on it, like that is what it is. It's not a country song or anything. Right. I don't even think I say anything about horses in that fucking song. But guess what? It's me.
Yeah. You in your element.
Yeah, I'm in my element. That's my horse that I train from fucking scratch. Never had anybody on her fucking until me.
Damn.
And so, you know what I mean? Like,
so let's get into that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because
we taking a dive.
We're taking a dive into here, man. So you your family owns a farm. Yeah, better your grandpa.
Yeah, my grandpa.
Right.
Yep.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Yep.
And get into that, man. What's up? Why are you taking care of these horses?
So I mean, growing up, in my family, basically, it was like two things. Like you could either Well, I guess it wasn't like forced, but it was like for me specifically, as soon as I was old enough to fucking pick up a bale of hay, Grandpa would call me and be like, "Hey, bro, we got some hay to throw, so you're gonna fucking come out here." And I mean, it went all the way to like it went all the way from, then on. Summers spent out there just like hanging out with him, riding horses. Every once in a while, I wasn't like super into it because again, my mom was kind of forced by him to do it, so she didn't want to do it, so she wasn't gonna force us to do it. Gotcha. She wasn't gonna force us to do it. I kind of chose it, and then it was like hanging out with my uncles every weekend and shit. My grandpa used to throw rodeos at the Utah State Fairgrounds, like where they do like the big Mexican rodeos and shit out there.
Yeah.
And he used to bring his bulls out there. We would do like all sorts. We would do one thing called the Ring of Fire. He went to Mexico and bought a fighting bull, and we would do the Ring of Fire, where we would take flour out in the middle of the arena and draw it, and then people would stand in it for 2 minutes, and whoever stood in there for the full 2 minutes would get $1,000. And this shit. Nobody won. Nobody ever fucking won that shit, dog. Everyone.
What's with the bull and the flour?
So the flour is just to draw the ring, so you could see it, right?
Right.
So we would take like flour and just draw it out there, and then we would just let the bull out. And
if people ran out of the
stand in the circle and try to dodge him.
Oh, okay.
And if they stayed in there long enough, they would get $1,000. If they ran out of the circle, it was over. It's like, but dude, I watched people. They tried to give him the Heisman Trophy one time. Oh man, so it was just fun doing that shit. It was fun going out there getting a little piece of that shit. So like, I kind of always had that in my life. As he got older, he needed like farm hands. He needed people to go ride his horses and work with them and stuff. And me and him we were so different, so fucking different, bro. But like the same person,
right?
So I caught the bug. You know what I mean? I caught the horse bug. I got on like a couple mules. I trained one to like let me ride her and shit. And from then on it was just like, all right. And then once Grandpa, when Grandpa passed away, nobody else has the bug,
like you do.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's like it's a lot of shit to do. So it's like I mean I drive 45 minutes one way, and then another like 2 hours of work, 3 hours of work there every other day, and then another 45 back.
So it's not in the valley.
No, it's out in like Tooele Valley. Tooele County. Yeah.
It seems like you've built character throughout your life because of the situations, the experiences you've been in. You know what I'm saying? From eating 40s, drinking 40s for breakfast or whatever, to
I'm not proud of that one.
No, but what I'm saying is that, like, I mean, what I bet this was it's a whole different kind of ordeal. What characteristics did you build doing this, riding horses and training horses? Would you say, if any?
Man, I think a lot of I think dedication and patience are the big ones, right? You have to finish it. They're kind of in your hands, right? It's the next thing I could think of to like maybe raising a child, right? Like you have to prepare this thing to either or what it's gonna go to not saying that we sell our horses to glue factories, but like nobody wants a horse that they can't freaking like walk around or anything like that. Yeah. Like it's kind of defeats the purpose in some places. Some people will just have horses in their pasture.
Right.
We always used ours to go get cows or to ride, to have fun, to go fucking on a little journey if you wanted to or whatever. It just teaches you patience. It teaches you to dedicate your time to something and knowing that, like, again, this thing has a mind of its own and will let you decide if it wants you up there or not.
Were you ever scared doing that shit? Like, in the beginning?
Fucking terrified, man. And especially even like when I was younger too, I was a little bit more intimidated because they're just so big and I wasn't around them like always that. When I say go to the farm, like a lot of the times it was just feeding. Like a lot of the times we were just feeding the animals. My grandpa would have new animals and shit, yaks, sheep, horses, you name it, pigs, everything. He's had it.
Badass, man.
And turkey, you name it. So a lot of it was like we would go over there, feed, and just like spend time in the dirt and go climb in his old trucks and shit. Like every once in a while they'd be like, "Oh, let's ride," but it's a busy time, so it's hard to ride. And if you have animals, you have to have like the dedication to do that. You have to be like, "Yo, these things need exercise." Again, if they are broke, you want to freshen them up, make sure they're good still and not going to hurt anybody if you sold them to somebody. You don't want people getting hurt.
Yeah. Did you ever get hurt?
I've been thrown off. A couple of times. I've never been, and I'm knocking on some serious wood right now, but I haven't been seriously hurt.
Okay.
I've had my moments. There was a time during those rodeos where I actually climbed on a bull.
Oh.
Yeah, and I felt like I was up there for fucking ever, and I was only up there for like 2 seconds. I got off. I was like, man, that was like fucking 5 seconds. My uncle was like, no, it wasn't. It was like one jump, you were on the ground. I remember asking him too. I was sitting on there because my uncle, who helps me a lot, who I help a lot at the farm. He's always been doing this, but he was killing it, man. He moved away when he was 18. He rode professional bulls forever, made hundreds of thousands of dollars riding bulls. And it beat your ass up.
Shit.
But he was like my guide there. I'm sitting on this bull. My cousin finally convinces me to ride this animal. So he's like, you're not down. And you know when somebody says you're not down, you're like,
shit, let's do
all right,
it.
let's see it. So I sat on this thing, and I remember asking my uncle, I was like, so how do I get off? And he was just like, don't fucking worry about that. You don't gotta worry about that at all, man. I was like, oh, what do you mean? They opened the gate. I found out, bro. I fell off. I was fucking. So I actually got thrown off the other day. We have mules. I got bucked off the other day. She's fine. It was her first ride of like the summer. I didn't warm her up. I'm giddy. I'm ready to get on.
How do you warm her up? How do you warm an animal like that up?
You lope or
You
not
hover?
lope them. You lead them. Yeah, you lead. So you lead them. You get the saddle on them. You get them all ready to go. You still have like a halter on them or a lead rope. Then you take them over to like a round pen and you just keep running them in circles.
Okay.
And if they want to freak out, they're probably gonna freak out then. And then you turn them into circles the other way, and then you turn them into a circle the other way. Lots of circles with training horses.
Shit.
They have two different sides of their brains that they think on. Like if they're good on this side, they're probably not good on this side. So you want to check this side too. So it's like you really have to do circles one way, and then once they get it down, circles the other way. And it's all pressure release. And it's like life, right? It's pressure and release.
Gotcha.
Pressure's you coming up to them. Once they do the right thing, release. Hey, chill.
It's all good.
If they're turning, you don't want to just keep yanking on them like right the whole time. If they go to take a step right, like especially a green horse, a horse that doesn't know much, it's like if they do an inch in that right direction, let them go. There you go. You just gave them their reward right there. You're not tugging on them and yanking on them anymore, scaring them. Yeah. And then once they do it again, and they'll get better. They'll get better and better. They'll get more confident. You'll get more confident. And it's just like, yeah, it's a crazy symbiotic relationship. I think about like, just like how long humans have like been around horses or been able to like, you know, tame horses and ride horses and stuff. And it's a cool relationship. It's almost similar to like
A dog?
dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are no like real wild horses anymore, are there?
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Out there?
Yeah.
Hell
Wait,
yeah.
where?
So many in Utah.
You motherfucker.
Real wild?
So many fucking wild.
Really?
Like it's almost a problem.
For real?
It's almost a problem. Like that was my grandpa's job. My grandpa's job was to go wrangle wild horses and shit with the BLM.
Damn, I didn't
And
know.
then what? You just take them and train them?
So you would take them, you would like doctor them up. You would trade out stud horses, so like they're not inbreeding out there. They would go out, they would catch, like the stud horse will see one of like their horses and be like, oh, here's a new fucking chick to come and join my herd, and go follow them. They'd capture the stud, and the stud's like, oh, like I got a new girlfriend though or whatever, and then they would let another stud out so that like.
They would be
So
able to.
it's not just inbreeding,
Got
creating
you,
just
got
like
you.
bad horses and stuff or unhealthy horses and stuff. So like that was a big part of his job. They'll go out there and like fly helicopters and ride and shit and be out in the middle of fucking the desert and stuff. I think there's like over 80,000 wild horses in Utah.
Really?
I think it's
Where?
crazy.
That's fucking
All
crazy,
over.
man.
Can I go catch one?
No, so it's illegal. You can't catch one. You can go buy them from like an auction.
Wait, so who catches them then? Like
So he has
people
to
like
have
your
a
grandpa?
license. I'm sure.
It's the people who are responsible for like the Bureau of Land Management.
Okay, it's BLM. Yeah, yeah,
BLM will
yeah,
go
yeah.
out there and they will go capture and they help. There's actually a place that was a Butterfield Canyon called the Wild Horse and Burro Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
They would catch like wild donkeys and wild horses and shit and like and bring them up there and like just have pins that they stand in, get them gentle. People like you can train a wild horse.
Yeah.
Like if a horse is 10 or something years old and it's only known wild shit, I mean it's a little bit harder to work with them. They're full fucking size horses, but you can train a wild horse.
How much does a wild horse go for?
Oh shit, dude, I don't know, man.
Oh, come on, man.
It just depends,
Nah.
bro. It just depends. Like, you know, $1,500,
Okay.
$1,000, you know, $500 if it's skinny and bad. Some people just give away their fucking horses, like, because they can't feed them. Like, feed's expensive, hay's expensive. That's why we have to downsize. I have 6 right now. I have 6 purebred Wagyu cows.
Oh,
Damn.
sounds good.
Wagyu?
Yeah, Wagyu beef.
Do you eat them? Do you guys eat them?
We have,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
we have before. We're trying to sell the Wagyu and shit. Like, we're trying to sell shit, and it's expensive, man. It's hard to feed people, or hard to feed animals. Animals eat a lot.
Yeah,
we noticed that. Like,
big
we
ass
ran
animals.
through all Grandpa's like last hay that he had, and now it's like our turn. He spent like $30,000 on hay last year.
Are you serious?
It was $30,000 on hay.
That's expensive, my guy.
Yeah. So, and I'm not looking to fucking spend $30,000. I'm a rapper, bro. Chill. Like, yo, hold up. I'm not like the big rappers yet. So they fucking got me.
Oh, man.
like,
Hey, man, go support our guy, Zac Ivies, so he
Yeah.
could feed his animals,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Hell yeah.
I started laughing when you
Wait up,
said,
what?
what happened?
Speak on the mic.
Oh, I started laughing when you said if you could go get. I could imagine you going to get a wild horse, bro.
You can?
Straight
Yeah,
up.
you fucking rope him and he just takes.
Hell yeah, I take that motherfucker home,
You be going
dog.
on a ride, bro.
Hey, bro, I've been wanting to get a farm, like some land
yeah.
to get my own farm
That'd be-
going,
Yeah.
bro.
It's
I
dope,
want to
man.
do that shit so
It's
my
dope.
kids could grow up and do that shit, bro. Wake up early in the morning,
You know,
feed
you're gonna-
those cattle.
You're going to want to escape the city, and then you're going to raise them out there, and they're going to want to move back to the city. It's just how it goes. It's like every generation under us kind of wants this until they get older or whatever, and they recognize
Realize it.
what they had, and,
Yeah.
and then they're going to want to move to the farm again, and it's just, yeah, that's how I feel it is. I'm like,
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
because we take it for granted the things that we have
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
it's gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So, but still though, man, I mean I still would want to do it, and
I
it's,
support
yeah.
it, bro. Come move out next to where my grandpa's place is, and we'll fucking try to move out there, too. I'm like, let's go.
Shit.
Hell yeah.
so, oh yeah. Well, where's this at?
This is in Tooele County, so like out in Erda.
Okay, all right, out there.
There's neighborhoods popping up everywhere out there, so it'll look just like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In a
Yeah.
matter of
Yeah.
10 years,
It's
it'll look
crazy.
just like this. So
It's growing.
yeah,
Big time, bro.
Utah's blowing up right
Do,
now.
do you kind of? I mean, of course, you see the difference because you lived here all your life. Back in 2005, we moved out here. It was like empty.
it wasn't shit.
It was-
bro.
yeah,
it wasn't
yeah.
shit, and especially where like, because again, where my grandpa lived, he lived in West Valley. Our farm was in West Valley.
Oh, okay.
Our farm was on like 21st and 56, and we were leasing the property, and it went from like 5600 and 21st South,
Yep.
and then there's that Winco.
Yep.
It was right by that Winco, and it went all the way back to Rocky Mountain Raceway.
Yep.
Rest in peace, Rocky Mountain
Yeah,
Raceway. You know what I
that's
mean?
just gone.
But there was a point in time in the 80s where they asked my grandpa to buy that property for like, I think it was like 100,000 or something like that. It was like nothing out there in Magna, right? When they kicked us out of that place, they had sold the property, and we had to get all of our animals out and shit. And like I said, it went all the way back to Rocky Mountain Raceway. We had a lot of shit that we were like, oh man, we'll just leave that there. They'll get it. The old barns and shit that had fallen over and stuff. They sold that property for like $8 million.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
like $8 million. They put a movie theater in there, a megaplex and shit.
Oh,
and
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Put all that shit out in there, and that was like our property. So it's like it's only happening there. And I remember what that place used to look like compared to like
What it is now.
I'm like, holy fuck, man! There used to be I used to ride my horses all the way the fuck back there and shit. Now there's just like buildings and shit popping up. That's a little clue on one of the singles that I'm releasing is. It's about that. It's about all the fucking condos popping up and the apartments that are popping up everywhere in Utah and
Yeah,
stuff. It's
bro.
like,
Come on, man. It's getting crazy.
It is.
I'm getting
You,
wild.
you got to speak a little bit closer, bro.
I can't even hear myself. No, you're good. But yeah, it's getting crazy.
It's getting nuts out there, man.
Yeah.
And so, and again, out at my grandpa's place, it was like desolate. And as soon as they put the fucking, the Holiday gas station in out there and the shit, I was like, it's over.
Yeah.
And the Cafe Rio came and the Panda Express came, and I was like, oh, you're done, dude. You're done, dog.
Crazy.
They just built this in freaking West Jordan and in Sandy and in fucking where they're just popping.
It's sad, huh?
Yeah. You see the Ross and shit out there. You're like, oh no, man, run away. Hey, yo, shouts out to Ross. You kept us all clothed. Shout out to those guys.
I just went the other day to Ross to buy some clothes. By the way, so shout out,
Straight
man.
up, dog.
Shout out.
Hey, yo, shout out to Bohemian too.
Hey.
What we're drinking on. This is fire right here.
That's
Thank
the cerveza, man.
This
That's
is fire right here.
That's our favorite one right there.
The lager, man. The cerveza.
stuff.
I love that.
Yes, sir.
And you guys for doing your thing out here and bringing artists and other people on of many different platforms and stuff, and you guys being consistent with it. I'm sure you know what it's like to keep plugging away at things sometimes and maybe not getting a result that you were initially out for, but then finding some other things that may have surprised you about it that you really like and stuff. And so
Most definitely, bro. It has changed my perspective on a lot of things within the city, especially different artists that we met. Artists like you, bro.
Yeah,
Straight
thanks,
up, man.
Appreciate it,
Yeah, keep doing your thing too, bro. Like, I mean, like I said, I love your music, bro. I told you before, I was surprised.
yeah, thank you, man.
I did not a, you know what I'm saying? I mean this in the most respectful way, but I was like, damn, like I didn't expect that. And I was like, oh shit, damn.
Yeah.
Not to say that I expect something bad, but you know.
He's like,
I mean-
what is another motherfucking rap? Trust me, try to tell your wife's parents that you be rapping and shit. You're like, oh, you gonna take care of my daughter
Yeah.
after this next show?
So you have a cipher. You have a not a cipher. Well, it is I can't even pronounce this. NYSZN.
Oh yeah, that's the Native Leaves season cipher. Yeah. There's a couple different dope ciphers that I was on that I was a part of. The Native Leaves, that's a reggae group out here.
Okay.
That's also produced by the dude who produced the Noti tapes.
Okay.
So Native Leaves, they brought another MC by the name of Malev the Shinobi, who's a really talented painter, artist. Is killing it on Twitch. Is another like just. It's one of those situations where, you know, people will be like, oh, who's popping out here, who's buzzing out here, but like he's buzzing in Brazil, he's buzzing all across the country. It's not necessarily he's huge here
Locally,
but he is big here.
Yeah.
But he's not like it's not, you know, it's not the pool of people who listen. Spotify's big,
Yes.
you know what I mean. Spotify and YouTube and other places are pretty big. I
Yeah.
mean, you go look at some of his songs on YouTube with hundreds of thousands of views. And you know, it's kind of one of those things where he's doing his own thing. When you ask me if people have made it out of here, what's making it, like that's making it to me. You know, he's
Dope.
doing what he loves. He's making his own music and making his own wave as an independent artist. So
making it. I mean, like once again, I like to ask that question just to get people's perspective and people's opinion
On what it is.
On
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
is.
yeah,
What do
yeah,
they
yeah.
feel? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
A lot of people feel getting on the radio is making it.
Yeah,
you know
straight
what I'm
up,
saying?
straight up.
And others feel like, oh, you know, making millions of dollars is making it.
yeah.
So, but once again, it's all in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
So
I think a big goal that I'm out for is to support the things that I like to do via doing the things I like to do.
yeah,
If I can support my lifestyle and whatever I like to do off of me doing shit that I like to do, like music and like selling a horse every once in a while if I want to, or like teaching the boxing classes in the summer because it also helps keep me in shape.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do those things, and I'm gonna find the things that I'm good at and the things that I've always kind of been, you know, better at, and run with them. I mean, there's if I went tomorrow, if tomorrow fucking boom struck by a car, nobody would be like, yo, that dude was not doing what he loved, you know.
that would be the opposite. Be like, man, Zac Ivie.
He was only doing what he loved. He actually should get a fucking job every once in a while. So, but yeah.
So these artists that had you on their songs, on their cipher or whatever, they reach out to you, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't reach out to them and be like, hey, let me jump on this
No,
song.
they'll usually reach out to me and get a feature, or, you know, we've been chopping it up about making a song for a minute or whatever. But yeah, most of the time, how the process usually works is usually it's a DM. Usually it starts off as a DM, and they'll hit me up and be like, hey, man, what's a feature cost or whatever. I'll hit them with a price or whatever, depending on who it is. And then, we go from there. I've got a full studio at my house. I record out of my place. I've had all my tools since the fire, since my boy saved it out the fucking water. You know, I've had all my tools since then and grown some things in the studio since then. So, they'll hit me up for a feature or whatever. I'll send them over a verse. shoot a music video if they want to, or you know, it just kind of goes from there. It's a business, and if you treat it like a business, people will start respecting it like a business. But at first, people don't really, you know, they think because they rap too and you rap too that fucking you guys should just that you owe them a verse.
Do you feel like jumping? Did you take it as a business as soon as you got a little bit better, or when did you start taking it as a business? Because a lot of people are afraid of business and they don't know how to come at business. And some people say you should take it to that business level once you reached a certain amount of, I don't know, songs or what's the word? Money, I guess, or not even money, but
once you reach like a certain level, then you can start charging
exactly
for features or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, people have their opinions of that all the time, but like those same people just want you on a track or whatever, and it's just like then, and I've had people who've been mad because I've hit them with a price before, a price, you know, like what? Who are you or whatever, and it's just like, well, bro, like the thing is when you release a song on DistroKid, like that ain't it. Yeah. That ain't it. You still don't own your publishing or whatever unless you're registering your songs with your PROs. Motherfuckers don't know what PROs are. Motherfuckers don't know what ISRC codes are or UPC codes are. Yep. People don't know how a song breaks down royalty-wise and where your money goes. People think that whatever DistroKid or CD Baby pays you is what you made off of that song. That is 1/3 of what you made off of that song. You need to go claim your other shit. And so when I started acting like that is when I started telling people like, this is how much I cost. Yeah. Because I know I'm doing the extra fucking work. Like I know I'm doing the extra reps. I know I'm making sure that like I got my LLC. I have my publishing. I have my PROs all set up. I have like through the board. You're like,
who's your publishing through, by the way?
Me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's me. It's Get It Right Records.
Okay.
So it's all independent as far as like that's concerned, and when you just set up publishing companies.
Okay.
You can set up a DBA as a publishing company immediately.
So what is BMI and ASCAP?
BMI and ASCAP are like your performance rights organizations.
That's right.
Shit, right.
Okay, that's right.
So then you got other things like Song Trust, and there's a couple other different companies that will also help collect like mechanical royalties and shit like that. Mm-hmm. For fees, right? For admin fees, for 15% of whatever they pay you, which is, we all know it's minimalistic payments for artists, right? Yes. Yeah. But at the it's minimalistic payments, but at the cost of somebody on Spotify in Russia being able to, or wherever, you know, that's just like, I was like, I got Russia streamed. I was like, better fucking support Ukraine up in this. But no, but like, yeah, like at the cost of being able to have somebody in wherever stream your music immediately. Right. I've noticed like with the Master Ace track, I got a cool ass press release with that Master Ace track. And a lot of places picked it up overseas. I sent it to a dude who works with the Snow Goons. He went and sent it to all of his joints. Static Selecta played my shit on the fucking Shade 45 radio station and shit with Master Ace. And yeah, like it was sick. I was getting that kind of love on Shade 45 before I was getting love on U92, which is not a thing anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, like there was certain like shit like that where like I looked over, they don't even use Spotify and shit. They use like Mixcloud and other things. Yeah. And so how do they find you on Mixcloud? And when I started being like, oh, I'm the type of artist that will go get a Mixcloud account right now to find out where my shit's being played, and like an artist account, like that's kind of the difference, you know. That's the,
you put in the work.
Are you about it or are you not about it?
Got you.
You know, I consider myself a business because at the end of the year when I do my fucking taxes, I know
you what claim that.
Yeah, I claim all that shit, all my shit. If I'm spending it on music, if I spent gas to come to here because this helps my imagery, this helps my business as well as maybe your business, right? Like, then I'm gonna fucking write that off. I'm gonna save that as like a business meeting. This is a business expense. This is me coming to, and then thinking like that and moving forward. Like it's hard to think like that at first, right? Who am I?
Yeah.
Who the fuck am I? You know, like realistically, who am I? And it took me a while to finally be like, I started noticing when I showed up to parties, they were like, that motherfucker rhymes right there. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's who I am.
About goddamn time, these motherfuckers. But, you know, like, and there's still people who don't know who the fuck I am. So it's cool. We just went on tour with Greaves in February. it was like 7 sold out fucking shows, just us out on the road selling merch, killing it, meeting people in Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, who still listen to my shit today and send me pictures of songs and shit. Like, who am I? You know, like, who was I? And
What has been the dopest experience when it comes to meeting fans or meeting people that like, damn, you listen to my shit?
oh man, there's so many cool moments that it's hard to pinpoint one, bro. But like, I think my favorite thing is just when people message me and they're like, "Hey, yo, like, I was having a really rough day, and this song fucking helped me out." Because I remember those songs that did that for me.
Yeah.
And I still listen to those songs when I have bad days, you know. And they still put me in moments of like just the other day I was cruising down the street, a certain song came on, and it was like the right temperature and like the right smell of the air outside, and then that song came on, and I was like 13 years old again. I was like visualizing while I'm driving, just young me listening to this song for the first time, and just how I felt. And I was just like, that's what I want to do with music. That's why the moving forward's the feeling, not necessarily the I'm not too concerned about saying like, oh, like I need to have this message or this conceptual album. It's just, it needs to have that feeling. If I can recreate that feeling in myself, I hope to recreate it in others, you know.
Yeah.
Did you always go by Zac Ivie?
I went by Ivy when I first started. Just my last name. And then I kind of was battling, do I just go by Zac Ivie or Ivy? And somebody was just like, you should just do Zac Ivie. It's easier to Google. And it is. It's easier to Google. Like, realistically, it's just like I got friends with rap names that sound like certain things that like they're hard to find. They're hard to find on the internet unless you know where to look. Right. And so it's like, yeah, that was just the easiest thing. I switched it pretty much immediately. Within like 1 or 2 or 3 years of me going by my last name, I just went by my name. And then it made it easier, you know? It made it easier for everything else. People would be like, what's your name? Oh, that is your name. Nice. Or like, and at first, too, it was easier, too, because when it came to payments and shit, they, you know, occasionally, this is a little like pro tip, but if your rap name is, you know, young something, and they write a check to young something, you can't go cash that fucking shit. You need to have young something doing, or so-and-so doing business as young something, or a bank account with your LLC name, with your rap name and stuff. And so it's things like that. It just made it so much easier for me to just be like, oh, sweet. Well, man, that's me. Here's my fucking ID. And I also rap by that. So,
damn.
Yeah.
All right.
So then I got my LLC as that, and I got a DBA as that as well. So it's like Zac Ivie doing business as Zac Ivie. My LLC, Zac Ivie Entertainment LLC, as well as Get It Right Records LLC, as well as the Source Manufacturing LLC, which is the embroidery company. And so it's just like, I took all my businesses very seriously, just because the IRS scares the shit out of me. So
Yeah, bro. Yeah, most definitely. Shit, me too.
I ain't trying to get
that smoke,
fucked,
huh?
bro. I ain't trying to get fucked, dog. No, like that, and just like you should. If this is your business, if this is a career that you want to make, then you're gonna make it a career.
You have to, man.
I sat behind many a dope artist and got to watch them handle business and was like, oh yeah, that's how we want to do it.
Definitely, because that's gonna help you elevate.
Yeah.
You know, talking about your name and stuff. How did your mother, feel about you rapping, and your brothers and sisters? Were they supportive? Were they not?
So, and I mean, this is just me being very honest, which I love you, Mom. What do you want me to do? What do you want?
Oh wow!
She hit me at first, with the whole fucking the cat in the hat and this, and it was kind of a mockery, It was kind of not serious, but again, high school dropout. I'm not really taking anything very serious at the time, so I couldn't really blame her for that. I think my biggest thing was I told myself the moment that I remember this day in the gym, we were getting ready for Golden Gloves, and I actually couldn't compete that year because I just had a monster break my nose sparring, right before the fucking tournament. Shit. And I was mad. I was like mad, but you don't like quit. Like your nose hurts, but you're still gonna go to the gym because then you'll just lose all that progress. So I was in there. I was doing push-ups. Our coaches that just passed away. It was like a rough kind of, kind of continuation. When it rains, it pours. And I was like, I think I'm going to start doing this music thing. Like in my head, I was like I think I'm going to start doing this music thing more. And I told myself, I was like, bro, like you quit school, you quit this, you fucking, you know what I mean? Like if you quit boxing and do music, like that's it. That's the last thing you're allowed to quit. Like you're not quitting anything else. I mean, maybe quitting smoking or whatever, like blah, blah, blah. That's like, but like passion wise, like that's the last passion I'm going to like, if I'm not going to box anymore, because that was my life, bro. Like
you took it serious.
I took it very serious, in a sense of where it's like it might have contributed to me not going to school so much, is because it's just like I was sore, I was tired, I was rebellious, and I knew how to fight. So didn't like teachers or just kind of where did the young testosterone go? So I told myself, I was like, man, if I stop this, I'm not gonna stop making music, and I haven't. I've slowed, at times haven't released as many singles as maybe what I did in the past or whatever, but it's always been there. Like I've always just been making songs. It's whether I put them out or not. So
gotcha.
Yeah. So
gotcha.
At first it was kind of just not it wasn't so much for my brothers or my dad or and when I say that, like my older stepbrothers, I have older stepbrothers and a stepdad who gave me the last name Ivie.
Okay.
That's why I chose the last name Ivie, is because that's like the family name. So it wasn't from him. He was working a lot anyway, so there wasn't much for him to like. We didn't have a lot of time for him to say anything.
Okay.
It was like my mom was the one who was kind of like on my ass about school, and also like like rhyming and the Cat in the Hat or whatever. And it wasn't until I won City Weekly's Best Of. I won like their best artist for City Weekly's Best Of one year.
Oh shit.
And like we were in the papers and people were posting about it and shit, and she was just like, you never tell me these things, and I was just like, oh my god, I didn't think you wanted to fucking know, right? Though, you know what I mean? I didn't think you wanted to know, my bad. So then I started telling her, more things, and started getting, we were on Fox 13 we did Shop with the Rapper with Lance a Million one year, and it was cool. I got to take a young friend of mine, Gage, kid who listens to my music, and his family's really cool. We got to take him shopping. We all got to take like one kid shopping that year, and I gave him $200 to go spend at a Target and go pick whatever gifts he wanted.
Yeah, how did that feel, man?
It was great, man. And it's moments like that make this stuff,
surreal.
It fills my cup, and the fact that he listened to my music so much, and like it was like an obvious choice. Like I knew it because I've gotten messages from Gage before, and Zac Ivie's the coolest. His mom's like sending me videos of him just like listening to my stuff, and so and me and Gage, we relate a lot. We had a tough time in school.
Yeah,
it's getting better,
yeah.
and a tough time with bullies and stuff. But at the end of the day, if I can help, if that's the only person who listened to my music, then I'm fucking cool with it. I made it. So
have you ever ran into any of your bullies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At shows and shit. They've been hitting me up for tickets before. I had a music video going around for a little bit, and I had a dude who was saying somebody had shared my music video and it seemed like they were excited about it. And in the comment section, the dude said, I used to bully the shit out of him in school or something like that. Like he was like proud of it or whatever. Like we used to make fun of him all the time or whatever. And I was just like, that's so funny because
I fucked your bitch.
Yeah.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, that's funny because we're, like, what are you doing now? It's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, it doesn't really concern me. Like that's actually awesome that it made it to him because he could just see that I'm fucking doing my thing. And at the time, that was a video that broke 10,000 plays in a day. In 24 hours, that one went like, and this was in like 2017 as well. So like Facebook was a little bit different, and like videos just went, dog. If you just sent a video out, like I had people sharing it throughout Brazil, I had people sharing it all throughout the lake, and like it was sick. But one dude, I caught it. Like they don't think we see shit like that, but like we do. We see shit like that all the time. I see, oh yeah, you used to bully me or whatever, but it's like, yeah, you used to bully me, but like two things. It's like you only did it when your 6 friends were around, and 2, you never came to the boxing gym like I was asking you. Now people are gonna be in the DMs like, yo, when's the boxing gym?
Let's go to the boxing.
I'm gonna get my ass kicked.
Oh no.
Bing bing bing. Yeah, right. Yep.
Oh, but that's crazy, bro. That's a trip. Bullies, I used to be a bully, believe it or not.
I was a bully.
Were you?
I was a bully. I bullied the bullies.
Okay.
And I didn't let it go. I feel like I never let it go. So I was kind of always the kid that like people would come up and be like, "Yo, man, like so and so just won't leave me alone," and like because like all of a sudden I knew how to throw hands. Like it wasn't like no thing. I was like getting in trouble.
Were you collecting? Were you charging? All right, I'll beat his
I
ass
wasn't
for
charging
$10.
shit. I was more mad at the fact that used to be me, and like like I knew how helpless I felt. So I was like, and so. Yeah, there were trips to the principal's office. There were trips to the one fight that I did get into. I didn't even know, like, I got in a fight. It was after school at somebody's house. I came back to school the next day, and the cop came and checked me out of the class, and everyone was just like, ooh. They did the dance. You know what I mean? I was like, oh man, I'm in here. He's like, do you know why you're in here? And I was just like,
you admitted to it? You admitted to it?
Did I admit to it?
Yeah, like when he asked you that?
No,
like,
when he asked me into it, I kind of just played it. I played it a little. I played it a little dumb, but like a little like know what's going on. And then he was like, "Do you know who this person is?" And I was just like, "Fuck."
Shit.
And like we had like 10 people who saw your ass at that party last night. Fucking. And I was like, they got me. I was like, damn, bro. And it was like a little bit before like super cell phones, so like we didn't have.
They weren't recording that shit.
Yeah, we didn't catch no video. It wasn't long enough to catch a video. He popped off some racist shit.
Yeah.
I punched his ass through the stairs, and then I turned around and his bigger homie came and swung at my ass, and he slapped the shit out of me. I hit him. I hit some dude. I turn around. I leave. I'm like, let's fucking do this. I hear, hey, motherfucker. I turn around. I seen a big old bear paw hit me. Yo, dude, this shit hit me, bro. He was like 8 feet tall, bro.
You thought you were fighting a bear?
I squared up a little bit, dog. I squared up a little bit, but I was like, oh shit. And then all of a sudden, the older sister, the dude I hit, she came out and was like, we called the cops. I was like, I'm out. We're gone. I got home. We were playing Xbox.
Yeah, hell yeah.
My mom was like, "How was your night?" I was like, "Oh, it was good." Me and my boy were chilling.
You had a handprint right here on your
dude, I was
cheek?
cool. Like I must have looked cool because she didn't say anything. She's like, "All right, have fun." I was like, "Sick, okay, cool."
That's funny.
She don't know shit. We're good. And then the next day, the cops and they called her and everything. And then I went to court and I was just like,
it was a big thing.
Shit.
"Yeah,
Fuck,
yeah.
bro.
You know what it is, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy, bro." And so, like I said, I got a family at home and shit now. I'm trying to just be cool.
You have kids?
No, I don't have kids.
Okay,
I don't
okay.
have kids, but I'm married. We bought a house in 2019.
Dope.
And yeah, dude, I'm just doing music and again, it's like when your cup's half full, bro, you don't gotta be mad at motherfuckers all the time. You know, you don't gotta be mad at people no more. So
Most deaf, bro.
I used to be a bitter ass human, and I find myself being a little bit less that lately. So
That's good, man. Like it should be, bro.
Yeah.
Like it should be.
growing up,
We only live once, man. So let's try to be as happy as possible, man.
yeah, amen.
You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Hey.
Well, and this is why we do this, right? To get to know the artist and for
Yeah.
the listeners and everybody to get to know the artist. And it was great meeting you, bro. It was
Dope to meet you guys, man. It was
honor.
so
Thank
it
you
was so
for
sick
even-
to be on the podcast,
yeah,
bro.
bro.
Where can people find you, by the way, man?
Man, all over, dude. You guys can find me probably at a horse track or a fucking boxing ring. Or no, I'm just kidding.
That's not what I meant. That's not what I
You
meant.
can just find me as Zac Ivie everywhere. ZACIVIE. That's where my music is. That's where my Instagram is. And yeah, man, you can just find me there.
Dope, man. Hell yeah. Any shout outs?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Shout outs to, first of all, shout outs to you guys for fucking bringing me on here. I really do appreciate you guys. There's a couple things that I want to say before I leave. Is just one, the new single drops on Saturday. And it's called High and Dry, produced by me. It is out of Get It Right Records, which is our record label. Organized Movements, Uprock, The Source Manufacturing. All the people who help me be me. Spy Hop. There's many of other places that do that, but check into these places and get involved. Get involved with these places. So yeah.
How often are you there, man, by the way?
Spy Hop's looking to be an annual thing. They just moved the class from a half a year to a full year, so it's every Monday and Wednesday.
And there's an age limit, right?
Yeah,
What's-
14 to 19 years old.
Okay. I'm 16, so I'll be there.
Sick, me too. I came in, I was like, damn, you guys got all this recording shit in here. This shit's nice, dog. I had all this shit. I was like, all right. So,
Nice, man.
yeah, man.
Cool.
What
Yeah.
else?
Dope.
Anything else?
Well, I know that we mentioned it earlier, but yeah, one more time, shout out to Bohemian Brewery. They're located out there on 94th East and Fort Union Boulevard, so go check them out.
Yeah, shouts out to Bohemian Brewery for the survey. So that shit was bomb.
And to Zac Ivie for making it out.
Yeah, it's been too long. It's
I
been
know,
a long
bro.
time
Yeah.
coming, man. It had to happen. So shouts out to the Lake Talk. You guys are dope.
Muchas gracias, man.
Muchas gracias.
Yeah. Peace.
Thank you for listening. Join us next time on the Lake